What's up guys, and welcome back to another G35 video. It's definitely been a while since I last uploaded, but we're so close to 10,000 subscribers. For the 10,000 subscribers special, I'm gonna be making a really special video for you guys. So go ahead and subscribe. Let's reach that goal of 10,000 subscribers. Like I said, very special video. You guys will love it. You guys will be entertained. So go ahead and subscribe. So I have been having this issue with the G35 that's been a thing for a couple weeks now, and I finally diagnosed it like 2 weeks ago. I'm gonna walk you guys through everything that happened and how I ended up figuring it out. The problem is really simple, and it took a while for it to actually pop up. It wasn't that apparent. So let me show you guys what I mean. So what I was noticing with the G35 was that it was starting to have a rough idle that was pretty bad, and also with that I was noticing some loss of power while I was driving it, just daily driving the G35, enough for it to feel like it was running lean. Had a pending code on bank 1 being lean. It actually didn't show up as a check engine light. I just ended up scanning the code on the G35. Typically when you have a lean code, first couple things you want to check is make sure you don't have any vacuum leaks. That's the most common, that's the most apparent. And I actually did have a vacuum leak coming from my 3.5-inch intake. Went ahead and put this Nismo intake 2 and replaced the silicone one that I had, and I thought that was gonna fix it. It did not. The issue was still there. Another thing that I thought was maybe the catch can, so I ended up replacing the hoses with actual catch can rated hoses. Very important, if you did not know, to have the proper hose. So after replacing the hoses with proper hoses, it didn't resolve the issue. So after that, I was thinking maybe it was the injectors, the bank 1 side, maybe the injectors are bad, or it was a spark plugs. Spark plugs look fine. If it was the injectors, it would be bad whenever you turn on the car. And what I was noticing is on cold starts, the car was fine, and once it got warm, that's when I was noticing the lean condition. So I took that out of the equation, and I figured that the injectors are fine. So I found that I had a really bad exhaust leak once I went ahead and tightened everything on the exhaust, because I thought my test pipes were messed up. After I went ahead and tightened all those up, I started hearing this weird noise, and it sounded like a pretty bad exhaust leak. I turned on the car and I went under, and I found that the flex pipe on the Ypipe was the reason for having that exhaust leak. It's actually so bad that I can put my hand under the flex pipe and I can feel the exhaust on my hand. That's how bad it was. So what I think happened was after I tightened all the bolts, I think everything got closer together on the flanges, causing that flex pipe to stretch out. And once it stretched out enough, that's when I was able to hear it, and that's how I found out about that exhaust leak. The ECU won't throw up a code, but that doesn't mean that you don't have an exhaust leak. So if you have suspicions that the car's running a little funky, check your exhaust, smoke test, whatever you got to do. But after weeks on end, that's the issue. I finally found what was going wrong with the G35. Like I said, loss of power, rough idling, it just did not feel good, and it was like driving me crazy because I thought it was something more mechanical than just a piece that was messed up. Sometimes you just got to drive the car more so that the problem becomes more and more apparent. I'm sure if I smoke tested, I probably would have been able to find it quicker. And after a while, that problem just came up by itself, and it got worse enough for me to notice it. So in this video, we are going to be installing the Ypipe. I bought an aftermarket performance Ypipe, so let me go ahead and show you guys. So here is the Ypipe that we're going to be installing in this video. This is from DC Sports. It is a performance Ypipe, meaning that it goes from 2.5-inch diameter, and it leads up to this merge collector where it turns into 3-inch. Eventually, I will be going all 3-inch after the Ypipe, but for now, I'm just replacing this since this is the problem. I want to make sure I just have a good running car. This is kind of the one that I ended up opting out to just because it's a very similar design to the HR and the VHR platform, and I found that those perform very, very well, which is what I have on my G35 right now. We're going to go ahead and be installing this Ypipe on the G35 today, and this will take care of that issue we have, and also we'll be able to have a nice little performance item in comparison to the OEM one I have on the G35 right now. So now with the biggest TED Talk speech I've given, let's go ahead and install the Ypipe onto the G35, and then I'll also be able to show you guys the old one and where the leak was coming from. Alright guys, so here is the OEM Ypipe, and this is the driver's side, and as you guys can see, it was on its way out, and I was already going to shave off that last layer, and it was going to be pretty bad on the driver's side as well. This is the passenger side, and as you can see, it has holes in it already, and it was only going to get worse, and like I said, I could hear it, even just as a daily driver, I would hear it all the time. But like I said, this is an HR VHR style Ypipe, so you find these in the HR 350Zs, HR G35s. You can also find these in the G37 370Zs. So we're going to get rid of this one. We're going to go ahead and install the performance one. It's going to be a pretty simple install. Like I said, it's just 6 bolts. You'll also be able to have just a working Ypipe and not have that nasty exhaust leak. It honestly doesn't look that bad, but when you hear it and also when you feel under the car, you can feel a lot of that exhaust going through those holes. So it's worse than it looks because it obviously doesn't look that bad. Another thing I should mention, the only problem I was having was with bank one. Bank one being this is the passenger side, so this was the only place that I was having an issue with. That makes sense because this side doesn't have any holes and it's still good. So let's go ahead and get rid of this old OEM Ypipe and install the performance one, and from there we'll be all good to go and we'll go for a drive. Alright guys, as you guys can see, I have the Ypipe installed on the G35. So this Ypipe, since it doesn't have the flex pipes on it, actually sits higher than the OEM one. So that's really good just because I won't be hitting as much since everything's a little tucked up. The OEM one that I had would sag pretty bad around right here. This one's pretty stiff, so it won't really move around that much. So all in all, way better. So let's go ahead, turn on the car, see how it sounds, and then we'll go for a test drive and see how the car feels now. Alright guys, so now we're in the driving portion of the video, and I have to say, right off the bat, the car feels amazing. I can't believe that this fixed it. This made it feel 1,000 times better. The way the car drives now, it drives like a normal car. I always felt that when I was trying to get up to speed with traffic, it felt like it took forever to get up to speed. Now it feels like the power's there, everything feels normal, it feels like a normal car, it doesn't drive funky. The idle's fine now, the idle's perfect. It's a tiny bit jumpy, but that's probably because I need a tune. But overall, the car feels really damn good. I'm so happy that this was the fix for it. I do have another issue on the G35 that I literally just figured out today. After trying to figure out this problem and then the other problem, I thought both of them were connected. They're two separate problems, but the other one is kind of an easy fix as well. Thank you guys for watching. Go ahead and subscribe. We're trying to reach that goal of 10,000 subscribers. Like I said, 10,000 subscriber video is going to be amazing. You guys will love it. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys learned something, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.